everybody, welcome back to my channel. Now today is a very special day and this video is a very special video. Technically my time today is Thursday and that means tomorrow Fenty is going to be launching nationwide and Sephora is literally all over the United States. I know that my freestanding Sephora at the Westchester, and I'm going to put their Instagram tag here. Please follow them for all the updates because they are also getting it and you will get a killer staff helping you color match, make makeup looks and all kinds of stuff with the products, so please go see them. The line is also launching online on Sephora.com tonight at midnight, but to actually physically handle it and have fun with it and buy it in stores, that will be tomorrow, Friday, or technically by the time you see this today, September 8th. And the two things I'm going to be showing you guys in this video are the Fenty Beauty Foundation, which I have in the shade 230, which is actually an exact match to my color IQ on Sephora.com, which is 1R06, which I'll be doing a full review on with check-ins in 6 and 10 hours, as well as the Fenty Beauty Highlighter Duo, which I have in Killawatt, and I'll be showing you more about the shades later. And I'm really excited to show you guys these products. The foundation itself, there are a few things to know about this. So this is a long-wearing, mattifying foundation that, not mattifying to where it's going to dry you out mattifying, but Rihanna is very much into the whole face having more of a natural matte complexion, and the only highlight you should be getting is from the highlight on your face, which you'll be getting from these. And this foundation does have a dry down time of about 2 minutes, so the color that you put on will be a different color in about 2 minutes once it dries down, which is why when they do color matching, they're gonna do about 3 different shades for you. So the color IQ, you see what your color IQ says you are, they'll put that shade in the middle and then they'll probably do a lighter one and a darker one as well because of dry down time. Also, another note is that this is not meant to be fully set on the face with setting powder. This should be worn alone, and the only thing you should be doing, if necessary, is using some type of blotting powder in your T-zone. I'll be using my typical techniques. I will be applying one side of it with a brush, which is the number 47 from Sephora, and also a beauty blender, which will be on this side of the face. And for the rest of my makeup look, I will put the details down in the description box. And also for the foundation, I will have swatches of this, as well as other foundations that I use on the regular. And this will already have been dried by 2 minutes, just so you can see the real comparison between this one and another foundation you see me use. And then I will also have a little swatch off. Also, don't forget to give this a thumbs up if you are super excited about the Fenty launch and their products. And also subscribe to my channel if you want to see killer videos like this, and or if you're just like me. And let's get started.
Alright, so first swatch is the Fenty Beauty Foundation in the shade that I mentioned. The next one is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Foundation in Cool Beige, Makeup Forever Foundation in R330, Note Cosmetics Foundation in Light, and then the Fit Me Maybelline Foundation in Classic Ivory.
Alright, so as I already mentioned, my skin has already been washed, prepped, and primed with the Boscia Perfecting White Charcoal Mattifying Treatment Primer, really long name. This is the same primer I used in my Bare Minerals Bare Pro Foundation review, so I figured I'd keep it consistent and use this one as well. So to start with, I'm going to put the foundation on with a brush. Now, I do recall that this needs to be shaken first before you put it on, so I'm going to shake it as directed. Now I'm using the number 47 brush from Sephora, the typical foundation brush, which is awesome. And mine's even better because it's got the little strawberries on it, so I got the special edition brush. And let's find out how this goes. Alright, this is like instant full coverage. Loving it so far. It does seem a little on the more yellow side compared to my other foundations, which I did see in the swatch, but I was hoping maybe once it hit my face it wouldn't come out as much. But it is definitely more of a golden-ish undertone. It's not necessarily neutral as I am, but it doesn't look terrible, which is good. I am hoping this doesn't turn into too much of a different color, because I am going out today. So let's hope it's not too damaging. Despite the fact that this might change a different color, I am already in love with this. Like, I can barely feel it on my face. It has such a nice finish. Like, it looks like skin. This is very, very exciting. I mean, aside from the fact that this is a national launch, which is amazing, the fact that we've had to keep our mouths closed for the past few weeks doing doses and things like that and learning about the products, the fact that we haven't been able to say anything until today, I feel like I'm part of the CIA. Anyway, let's finish. Yeah, you can. I'm gonna come in a little closer so you can see. Just applying it first here, and then once it dries, it's a totally different color. So make sure you do watch for that when you're doing your color matching at Sephora. The only thing I'm really not loving about this so far is the fact that I've had to use 2 pumps already just to cover this side of my face. So the fact that this comes with a standard 1.08 fluid ounce, and the fact that you have to use 2 full pumps just to get this beautiful finish on one side of your face. Mind you, this is with the brush, so maybe it'll be a lot better with a beauty blender, but for right now, the fact that I just use 2 whole pumps when I can just use 1 pump of my Bare Pro, that's something to think about. But overall, it looks awesome. What's also really nice so far that I'm not noticing is any patchiness in application. So you guys notice that once I applied that first layer, and then after a couple minutes and I applied my second layer in different areas, you guys did notice it was a totally different color. However, once all the makeup kind of sinks in, I don't have patches of different colors from when I reapplied to certain areas, which is really good, because that's one thing I was worried about, because I knew there was a dry down time, which means that once you first apply it, in a couple minutes it'll turn a different color once it dries. But overall, even though I had couple different layers, whether it be on top of other layers or this part was done first and then I did this part, there's no patchiness in color once everything dries down. So it seems that once it's dried down, like that's the color you're gonna have. All right, so now that half of my face is done, and it looks gorgeous, let's be real. So as I'm looking a little bit closer, I am seeing some dryness occurring. So I don't have dry skin, I have pretty oily skin. I did prep my skin ahead of time, so I did my typical morning micellar water wash with the Garnier micellar water. I used a toner just to kind of like keep it clean. I put my fresh Vitamin Nectar moisturizer on, and then I put the primer on about 10 minutes after that. And I'm gonna come in a little closer just so you can see this on the brush side a little bit, make sure you can see. So as you can see here, there's a lot of texture showing up in here, a lot of texture showing up down here. You can see that. And then also there is some texturizing up here on my forehead, more so right here. You can see a lot of my pores. Well, hopefully when the oils in my face kind of come through a little bit, it'll maybe settle that down, but we'll find out later. Right now though, I'm going to apply the other side with the beauty blender, so maybe we come up with a different finish. So I started off with 2 pumps this time, and I'm going to be using the butt of my beauty blender. Also, this is damp, as it should be. Alright, so far with the Beauty Blender, I get a really nice medium coverage finish. And to be honest, it feels a lot better with the Beauty Blender. I feel like with the brush, it probably packs on a lot of product to make it full coverage, which is great, because, you know, if you do want that full coverage finish. But with the medium coverage, it looks even more like actual skin. And again, I gotta wait a couple minutes for the dry down. Hopefully it'll still be the same color. But overall, I'm liking that finish a lot better. Overall, I can start to see a lot more texture now on this side as the more it dries down. And on this side, it does still have about another minute to dry down. And although I am seeing some imperfections in here, because now it's like more of a medium coverage, it's drying down a lot nicer, at least so far. I'm gonna wait another minute and then we'll see what it looks like. So after this side has gotten its full 2-minute dry down, I'm gonna compare sides with you just so you can see what I'm talking about texture-wise. So I'm gonna zoom you in. So as you can probably see here, it looks a lot smoother. Although you can still see some imperfections, the texture itself looks and feels like regular skin. It's also not coming off, which is great, so it's pretty transfer proof. and it overall has turned into the same color as the other side of my face, which I'm going to turn my face now. And as you can see probably here, there's a lot of texture here. It's like, I don't know if it's from my face, because my face didn't feel like that before, or it's from the foundation. I didn't get this kind of texture with the primer with the Bare Pro, but this is the texture I have right now. And then also up here you can see the difference in my forehead. So like this side is a lot smoother versus this side when I use the brush, it's a lot rougher. So for this foundation, I would recommend using a beauty blender. So if full coverage is not on your agenda and you don't mind it being more on the medium coverage side, I would go with the beauty blender because it smooths out a lot better. It feels a lot better on your face and it just looks a lot more natural. So what I am going to do though, I'm going to buff in just a little bit more product in some of my problem areas with the beauty blender, and then I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and I'm going to show you what the highlighter looks like as well. Alright, so now that my concealer has been applied, I am going to, and I already set my under eye, and that's the only thing I put powder on so far. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my typical RCMA powder, and I'm going to apply this to my T-zone. Whew, now to the creme de la creme item of the collection I'm going to show you today is the Fenty Beauty highlighter. And that G on there is G for gratis, by the way. I'm gonna open it up so you guys can see. And on the right side, we have Hustla Baby. And then on the left side, we have Mean Money. Now, this one is used as more of a natural type highlight. This is gonna be something just to kind of give you that regular dewy finish, and then this side, Hustla Baby, is your blinding, amazing gold highlighter, which is what we're going to use today. Alright, so really quick, I'm going to show you the swatches of these two, as well as swatches of some of my other favorite highlighters. One is Fuego from Dose of Colors with the Desi and Katie collaboration, and the other two are Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop from Becca.
Alright, so the swatches are as follows. The first two are from the Fenty Duo in Killawatt. The third one in is Fuego from the Dose of Colors collection. That's the one that is a collaboration with Desi Perkins and Katie from Luster Lux. And then last two are Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop, which I have in the Jaclyn Hill palette with Becca.
Alright, so what I'm going to do on one side is I'm going to apply one side with my brush and I'm going to apply the other side with my fingers. Now, I played with this already. I actually have it on the inner corner of my eyes here. Surprise, surprise, you've been staring at it this whole time. I think it has, it's a wonderful color. I think it's pretty universal, even for me as a neutral. Typically I can't wear things that are too gold, but this one actually looks really, really nice. And as you saw in the other picture with the sun hitting it, it is blinding. So I'm really excited to try this out. Woo! Ooh, that is nice. And even with using my finger, it blends in really nicely into the foundation to where you don't get this like thick, patchy thing. You know, like when you try to blend highlighters and you get that one swipe and then you can't rub it back in. This one actually blends really beautifully. I don't know if you guys can see this yet, but it is gorgeous. I'm gonna bring it outside too, just so you can see in direct sun as well. All right, now we're gonna do the other side with Le Brush. I typically use like a longer kind of eyeshadow brush for this, but since a lot of people I know use fan brushes, figured I'd bring my fan brush back out for this, and this is my Morphe M310. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pick some of that up and start applying. If you still want a strong highlight, but you want it to look a little bit more natural, I'd say use your fingers. But if you want a straight blinding highlight, I'd say use the brush. But we will go out into the sun and I will show you what it looks like there. And just so you guys know, a good check-in, it is now 3:07 p.m. I finished up the foundation part of my makeup at around 2:30. So we're gonna make 2:30 the start time for this. I'm going to be doing a 6-hour check-in to show you how the foundation is wearing, and then also a 10-hour check-in. This is supposed to be very long-wearing foundation, so hopefully by the 10th hour it will look the same as it does now. And then at the 6-hour mark, I will check in and let you know how the foundation is doing. All right, see you later. Hey guys, it is now 8:34 p.m., which means I've had this on for 6 hours. And I have to say I am quite pleased. So first of all, that weird texture I was getting when I used the brush basically dissipated once the natural oils in my face came through in the foundation, and it kind of had more time to settle into my face. So as you can see, I'm gonna bring it a little closer. As you can see, all that kind of rough, dry looking texture has basically melted away. And then this side has still stayed as flawless as it was, which is awesome. The color hasn't changed since the 2-minute set down, which is great because I was worried it was gonna oxidize throughout the day. Also, what I wanna note is that I always wear glasses, right? Sometimes the glasses will leave indents in this part of my nose. And a lot of the times you can't smooth the makeup back over it. Sometimes, you know, the makeup just plasters onto my glasses and then that's it. The Fenty foundation, however, allows for super smooth reapplication to where my glasses did leave a little bit of an indent, but the makeup basically stayed together and I was easily able to kind of blend that back in and it looked fresh and new. I have to say, so I'm a little shiny. The oil has obviously come through on my face a little bit. I do have oily skin. The only thing I noticed though is that with other foundations, my oils will make makeup separate. My makeup didn't separate at all. If anything, it actually got better over the course of the day, which is a pleasant surprise. And then also when I have a little bit of shine on my face, it actually looks more like a natural dewy finish rather than just me being an oil slick after 6 hours. So Fenty, you are rocking my face right now, and I'm really excited to see what it looks like in 10 to 12 hours. I will check back in with you guys soon, and so far I love it! All right, so the check-in is 11:38 p.m., which means that I've worn this for about 9 hours, and I know I said in the beginning I was gonna do about a 10 to 12 hour check-in, and I usually don't really wear my makeup for about 12 hours, so I figured 9 hours was a good match, and also my makeup has stayed on amazingly for 9 hours, so I can only imagine it would stay on great at 12. So just to give you a little scoop, I did blot with Boscia blotting papers because part of the Rihanna line is actually blotting papers, so I figured that was kind of part of the routine as well. So this is after one blot of the full face. And as you can see, my makeup has stayed pretty fresh since this afternoon at 2:30 when I first put it on. The only thing I did notice is that towards my jawline, some of the makeup did kind of dissipate. It's not on my collar or anything, so I don't know if it just kind of sunk into my skin or maybe just kind of clumped together, I'm not sure. But overall, I am obsessed with this foundation, and now that some information has come up before the midnight launch, I will give you a little extra scoop about what this foundation is supposed to do. So the foundation is the Ultimate Photo Filter Foundation. There's 40 inclusive shades. The Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation gives skin an instantly smooth, pore diffused, shine-free finish that easily builds to medium to full coverage. So far for this review, it absolutely fulfills all of those claims. My skin was smooth, it actually felt like skin, it was definitely buildable to full coverage with the brush, and also a great medium coverage finish with the Beauty Blender, which it probably could have been built to full coverage if I did an extra layer. And it says that the oil-free formula is made with a climate-adaptive technology that is resistant to sweat and humidity and won't clog pores. Which I have to say it is definitely adaptable because I feel like it's stayed smooth all day, and even with the oil buildup on my face, it hasn't broken down at all. And it's also only $34, which is hella affordable for Sephora, considering most foundations are $43 and up. So kudos to Fenty for making it affordable and all-inclusive. Finally, the highlighter, which is still poppin'. Fully love this highlighter and fully recommend it. The two shades are definitely a great additive for this type of product because you have the lighter type highlighter that's usually used for just a dewy finish, and then you have the other highlighter, Hustla Baby, which will give you a super blinding highlight. So overall, Fenty is a total win in my book, and I can't wait for you guys to try it out. Alright, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. But in reality, I don't really wear my makeup that long.
The meatloaf!
Ah, shut up! Let's try this again. Anyway. Stop! Anyway, so Damn it, you made me lose my place.